This is Maurice Jones-Drew, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, UCLA, fight.
You're listening to the What's Bruin Show, part of the What's Bruin Show Network, with your hosts, Jake Merrifield, Bill Shirley, Jamaal Artis, and Mike Regalado, bringing you anything and everything UCLA sports. And now, it's time for the What's Bruin Show.
And welcome to What's Bruin, a show about anything and everything Bruin sports. I am your sometimes here host, Bill Shirley.
This is rather long. Do you remember what this is? It has to do with a carnival. Two peaceful souls in a glass bowl.
Oh, the fish?
Just minding their own business. And then Bill flushed him down the toilet.
I did not. Oh, I did.
Yeah, you sure did.
I did flush him
That,
down.
if you don't remember, this is a deep cut from the What's Bruin Show. But back in I don't want to say 2017, 2016, Bill took the boys to the school. Wait, actually, when would they have gotten out of the the K through 8? Did they went there through 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade?
They went to
they went
that
there
school.
through 5th grade.
5th grade, and then they transferred.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're at the Catholic school, the K through 5 Catholic school.
Oh, it was actually K through 8.
Whatever it was, yeah, but
Yeah.
they were there until 5th grade.
Yeah.
And then they were at the school carnival.
We
You
got
guys
some-
probably had some volunteer hours you're responsible for or something, whatever. And the boys, right down the street from your house,
Yep. Got some
they
fish.
won a couple goldfish at the carnival. And then you guys brought the fish back to the carnival, from the carnival, put them into a bowl, and then you just bided your time. Like, this would be murder in the first degree, is really what this is. How long did you actually have these fish?
I mean, you probably have a better memory. I think it was less than a week, right?
It was less than a week.
Yeah.
So these fish came into your home. You put them in a bowl. They sat there for a little while. The boys fed them.
And they died.
Probably right about the time when it was time to change the water, you said, nope. Flush them right down the toilet. Like living. They didn't die. You just flush them down the toilet.
No, I don't.
You realize that it's not like Nemo. They don't really find the ocean. They go to a processing plant and get they're going to die from all the poop water down there, and somebody put Drano down the drain. But they're going to die long before they get to the processing plant. But they would never reach the ocean. You understand that, right?
They could. You never know.
No, you do know.
They never.
You fish murderer. You fish murdering son of a bitch.
Hey, it's all good. I eat fish all the time.
So that's what happened when Bill gets pet fish.
That's right. That's right.
The Shirleys are not good with fish.
No, we like fish, but not as pets. We're great with dogs.
Could you just briefly just rail this entire show?
Yes.
Just try to do 30 seconds or less, maybe a minute or less. Describe your first interaction with our dear friend, your lovely wife, my future ex-wife, Suzanne Shirley.
Yeah.
About her beta at UCLA.
She got a beta. I don't even know how she got it, but she got a beta. Was able to keep it in her dorm room. She was doing okay with it until she had to change the water.
Change the water.
And
you were taking her on a date or something,
I was doing something, and she's like, well, I got to change the water because she's responsible. She's like, well, let me change.
Very regimented, Suzanne
Yes.
is.
So I'm like, all right.
By the book. She couldn't possibly wait till she gets back to change water because the water has to be changed right now.
Right now. So she puts the fish, she does everything. She has a little net. She gets the fish, puts it in a little, puts it, a little of the fishbowl water in a cup. She puts in regular tap water, cold, pretty damn cold.
From what I remember, it was like a Sparklets thing that was like refrigerated water.
I don't know if it was refrigerated, but it was cold.
It was cold.
And she puts it in, cleans it. Everything's nice.
Yeah. Crystal clear water.
She dumps that fish in like 5 seconds. It was what? It was just like these spasms, these major spasms, and then all of a sudden,
as it goes into shock,
it just goes bloop 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 bloop. And I was like, Suzanne, you just killed. She's like, oh well. And that was another fish we had to flush down the toilet.
Oh my god. Well, at least that one was already dead. You bastard.
It wasn't me. It was at that time my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend.
Now wife. So it's all good.
All right, get on with it, Shirley.
Listen, you can go ahead and listen to this amazing show, The Bruin Show. Somebody agreed with me. It's not a symposium, even though you said, nah. Someone agreed with me. A caller.
What am I doing right now?
You're drinking. I'm drinking.
What are we
too.
doing right now?
We can drink at any time.
what are we
when I'm
doing?
driving and have a glass of water or a cup of water.
What are we doing right now?
You're drinking
And
talking.
there.
Oh my God!
It's a symposium.
That's not a symposium.
It is.
It's just
It
us
is.
doing a podcast.
Are we going to talk about whether or not Chip Kelly should be fired or not?
Oh goddamn!
Are we going to talk about how the Bruins did against Arizona? Are we going to talk about how they're going to do against Sparky? It's a symposium, jackass.
Oh my God! Thank you, caller, for agreeing with me, because this is just crazy.
Caller, I love you. I don't remember which caller it was. I love you. I really do. But F off on this particular point.
No, you're right. You're right. This show didn't start out as a
He is right,
symposium.
he is right, though. We are a little bit more limited of a network, considering that West Coast By's on hiatus because Jamaal moved.
Yep.
The B team's on hiatus because Hanna has a life and Nathan's a secret agent.
Yeah.
And the bare minimum may be coming back.
It might come back this weekend.
But it's on hiatus for undisclosed reasons.
Yes. So it's just one great show on one great network.
That's it. Now Mike's here.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry, kids on the phone.
It's all good. It's all good. So
Kids call, you got to pick up.
Oh, are they okay?
No doubt.
MIKE?
Oh, no, they're cool. They just want to say, hey, what's up?
Hey, you tell them. Hey, you
We're
check
just
them on
doing the
show.
intro, Mike. It's okay.
Oh, no, that's which I figured, picked up on.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yeah.
MIK, why don't you ever get them on the show?
Oh.
Seriously.
Oh, I'm going to do some sound drops this weekend.
Right?
Nice.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Well played. Well played.
That's right. So,
I mean, listen to this one.
Go Bruins!
That's the host of the bare minimum
That's your child, though.
as like a fourth grader.
that's right.
I'm just saying. I mean, we have drops of the kids.
We are not.
Yo,
we are friends of the children.
Did
We
UCLA?
are the world.
Did UCLA lose this week?
Sometimes it's hard to be a Bruin.
That's all the Merrifield kids and all the Shirley kids.
Giving all your love to just one team.
We are a family show if we are anything.
That's right.
We're also a symposium. You dick.
Oh, no. Don't listen to that crap.
F off.
Listen, you can reach these guys on Twitter or whatever it's called now. Station.
Los
Twitter X.
Angeles.
You can reach these guys on Twitter at What's Bruin Show, Instagram at What's Bruin
Hey,
Show.
lots of new Instagram stuff. I'm making a concerted effort to learn.
You
how
are,
to use
dude.
Instagram.
You are. Oh, I didn't show you that
You're
stuff
on
this weekend.
You're on Insta, Jake?
No,
well,
What's Bruin
that's
Show
the
feed.
one I started, and it's basically our password for everything. So just go in if
I'm
you
not-
you know it.
I'm not touching
Yeah,
it.
Bill's gonna do it.
Whatever.
Anyways, I posted stories or posts or something
Well played, Jake.
of our trip to Arizona.
Very good, Jake. You're now 25-year-old. Thank you.
I know,
That's
thanks.
awesome. Correct.
It was rather addictive.
Oh, wait till you put
Oh.
music over it.
Yeah, I did. I put the Mario theme over one of them.
Oh, nice.
Bum, 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 bum,
You can
bum,
use
bum,
effects.
bum,
Oh,
bum,
that's so
bum,
good,
bum,
so
bum,
great.
bum, bum, bum. Continue, Bo.
Listen, you can also join us on Substack.
Bum, bum, bum.
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, Bill, you're supposed to talk. He can't resist a musical interlude.
Actually, you can't hate that.
Yeah,
you
you
cannot
really
hate
can't.
that. I was
So-
like, it was going to be your soundtrack while you talk, but yeah, no, Bill was just waiting. He was going to pop in there.
So listen, you can reach these guys on Substack. You can reach them, and fudge! I messed up my joke. What the guy from San Diego, the Clans
Ron
guy?
Burgundy?
No, the guy from the Clans guy, David Duke. You can reach us at David Duke
Wow.
On the Substack?
on the Substack.
Thanks, Bill.
Wait, no, seriously, all jokes? Is he even alive anymore? I mean,
I have
he
no
was
idea.
like big in the '80s when we were kids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hopefully he's a bottom of a ditch
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'm sure. So you can reach these guys on Substack, what'sbruin.substack.com. And Jake is putting
Oh, by
stuff
the way,
up on
the
YouTube.
Substack, the post for the post game.
Did you just say the post for the post game?
The post for the post game. It's a post about a post game.
Oh, God.
Like two different uses of the word post, Bill. Thank you very much.
God.
Anyways, it was Arizona post game in 7 parts, I think is what it was called or whatever.
About another
But
post?
I put in a bunch of pictures from the Arizona trip on there.
Oh.
On the Substack.
On the Substack. And to get on the Substack, how much is it, Mike?
$2.
I think it's more like 5.
It's like 5. So, Jake,
Oh,
keep-
right now.
How much is the
that's
Patreon?
$2. $2.
Yes.
$2.
That's right. $2. So, guys, if you want the cool stuff, if you want to see pictures of Arizona that only Jake shares with people who give $5 or more,
It's actually on the free. It's a free post.
Jake, you're effing shit up again. All right. So go ahead and join that. And you might say, hey, guess what? If enough people join,
Maybe I'll put all the extra
I'll join.
pictures.
If enough people join, I'll join.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
That's right. Don't, because you'd probably die. Because I'm just fucking with you guys. So anyway, guys, go ahead and check out YouTube. Check out Substack. And also, look, remember, on the show links that Jake puts, you have a link to our merch. That's right. We have swag. We have swag in all different colors.
I think Seamus has bought 17 items, and everybody else has bought 0. So everybody else buy something.
Thank you, Seamus,
Make
for
great Christmas presents.
for subsidizing this show all for next
Although
year.
I have no idea. Like, I haven't heard anything from that website. So I don't know if we get anything from that or not. I have to check.
Oh, really?
I literally have not got any sort of report from that. It's maybe some giant scam.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
All right, we'll see. We'll take a look. But thank you
Use
for
it with
that.
the football team, though.
We'll
so
get
I
back
think
to you.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on
Thank
that
you,
one.
Seamus, anyway.
Guys, you've been leaving a lot of calls. It seems like every freaking
Thank you. That's
single
that's
episode?
hardcore.
We got
That's
6
hardcore.
more calls today. I think.
Yeah, we got a ton of calls. So that number, you guys have been using it. But just to remind everyone, that number is 805-399.
4 WBS.
Suck it.
I will be appearing on the Reign of Troy live YouTube stream next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. FYI. PM.
They are very excited, I'm sure, that their wish has come true.
What's that wish?
That Mr. Grinch
Oh, yeah, the Grinch is fired.
is fired.
Yeah,
So
you're a
I'm
mean one, Mr. Grinch.
sure- Yes.
I saw a meme today that
I was
that
sad.
said,
Yes.
if you think about it, the Grinch didn't hate Christmas. He hated people.
Yeah. That's true.
Sorry. It has nothing to do with the actual USC football, but it was a very funny meme where I was like, yeah,
Thanks, Mike.
that's right. Not very funny at all, just
deep.
thought provoking.
You guys are really bringing a lot to the table tonight.
Oh, and talk about thought provoking. We're going to get into it later, but we have a situation with a certain football coach.
Oh, we do. We do. We'll talk about it. But first, let's get to BroFiliated Headlines with Mike.
Guys, UCLA has received a commitment from 3-star quarterback out of Bel Air, Texas, Episcopal, Carson Gordon, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. He's a dual threat quarterback, and he's being likened to that of Mr. DTR. Good vision, obviously can use his feet effectively. So he's I think he's the first commit since August, I believe. So
This has been that long?
I think so. Yeah.
Jiminy Christmas.
Bruins got a quarterback for 2024. What else do we got? From the practice report, we have news about Ethan Garbers.
My name is
Ethan.
just call me E.
And Dante Moore. Garbers and Moore, who both left the Arizona game with apparent injuries.
Very
And
sad.
I could say that I saw...
You said that Ethan Garber's foot had been removed from his body.
True, I said that, but that was false. His right shoe was off of his foot.
Oh, okay.
And he was standing right by
much
the
less
tunnel, and I
serious.
saw him literally hobbling off on one foot.
Did you see it?
Yes, I was right. He was 10 feet away from me.
No, but I'm saying, did you actually see the play? It didn't look as...
Yeah, it didn't
I'm
look
not-
horrible,
It didn't
but-
look horrible. I'm not saying he's not in pain. I'm just saying I was sitting there going, I was thinking the way he was on the ground, like, oh my God.
And the way he hobbled off,
yeah,
too.
you're like, oh God. And then I was like, okay, it sucks, but it wasn't, at least visually,
Yeah.
wasn't the craziest.
And apparently Dante Moore might have had a concussion-esque type of injury. He returned today. Both of them actually returned today, but
Yay.
all the reporters
Garbers?
both of them.
Yeah, they both practice.
All the reporters said that Garbers was having a tough time. He was walking all right. Could kind of tell something was there. Was definitely not running to the next drill.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
that's the big news from the practice report. Really quick, basketball. It's here, Jake. Just accept
I
it
would like
and
to
move
avoid
on.
the basketball shows for as long as possible.
Both the
I
men's-
tried to watch the game last night. I was sitting in the hot tub, enjoying a cocktail. Tried to after my freaking one of the worst bad beats in fantasy football I've ever had. I was up by 60 points. The Chargers offense wasn't that great, and yet the Chargers defense got me because the guy I'm playing is a Chargers fan. He had like 6 Chargers on his freaking roster. I lost by 1 point because the Jets had the ball with 3 minutes to go, or 3.5 minutes to go, and they fumble it. It goes all the way to 2, and then Austin Eckler gets a touchdown. That took me from winning by 10 to losing by 1.
That
I
hurts.
hate fantasy football.
Anyway,
Anyways,
yeah, I'm not doing well. I'm 1-8 this year.
but I tried to watch the game, but one of you guys was watching, so you kicked me off the feed. That's all right.
Anyway, the women started off the night. It was a doubleheader at Poly Pavilion. They won 19-44 against Purdue, a team that was in the NCAA tournament last year. So this number 4 UCLA women's basketball team is very good. In her debut as a Bruin, Lauren Betts had 20 points. So did London Jones. Kiki Rice, 10 points, 10 assists. Double-double for her. The men, as you said, they won 75-44 against SFU, which Petros Papadakis so wonderfully calls Shut the F Up University. And I thought that was just brilliant. But no, St. Francis was there. And Bona went off for 28 points, 9 rebounds. Lazar Stefanovic, he had 11 points, 8 rebounds. It was very sloppy to begin with, but especially defensively, they seemed to get together in the second half. Mick Cronin was not happy with some of the players. He was...
What?
I don't know if you heard the post.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, shocker.
That sounds completely out of character.
So, I mean, but at the same time, he understands that it's the first game of the season, and a lot of these guys have been playing a lot different ball, and you really can't... you can't really compare this team to last year, which was a very well-oiled machine, and unfortunately, this team is now Hawkesless, so that's unfortunate. But Gabrielle is still there for the women's team. But the women look really good. And,
that's awesome.
And did you hear that Colorado? I think they're ranked 19th in the nation. Colorado women's beat number 1 LSU.
I saw that.
Take that, Angel Reese. Nah, she's badass. She's a baller.
Bro.
That's what women's basketball needs. Is people like her, just like not really being a dick in general, but just having that bravado, going out there and say, yeah,
It's okay. That's a Charles Barkley dick.
yeah. Well, he didn't win anything. Angel Reese did.
Wow.
I said it.
What did she win?
National championship, Jake.
For who?
When was the last time you won a national championship?
You're like disparaging Charles Barkley and his all NBA.
Dude,
like
I am not the only one. It's kind of a running joke in some
Search
circles.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So that's what's going on. Those are the BroFiliated Headlines with this guy.
Nancy wanted to make sure we talked about women's basketball, so I'm glad you did.
Oh hell yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I definitely want to see how they perform in the next few games. But yeah, I'm thinking about bringing back the weekend basketball mini pod. I was thinking about that.
Might as well.
I remember I did that during COVID. So maybe
What's
we'll
wrong with
do
you,
that.
Mike? Do it. Do it.
Fine, whatever. We'll do it. Whatever. We'll do it. I'll do anything twice.
That's what we hear. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
UCLA and the What's Bruin show go out to the desert and watch the Bruins get crushed
Not I.
27-10. Well, that goes without saying.
Bill had the wherewithal
I did.
to
I was
avoid
like, no
that
effing
area
way.
of the country.
Let's be clear here. We went out there. We knew there was a large probability we were going to leave there unhappy as far as the game goes. But we weren't going out there just for the game, Bill. We were going out there for brotherhood.
The experience, the love.
Something that you
I know.
decided to abstain from.
I hosted a
Thanks a
volleyball
lot.
tournament. I took a picture.
Thanks a
I
fucking lot.
took a picture.
I took a picture of the volleyball tournament.
Next time, I want video of the boys.
Okay, I can do that.
Can they? They're taller than me.
Yeah.
and I could get over the.
Mike, they're like
the
4
net.
inches taller than you.
Yeah, I know. Are
you haven't seen them in a while, have
Are
you?
they? No.
Yeah, they're pretty tall now.
Are
Mike,
they?
they're giants. They're literal giants.
They're not done growing.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully not, but we'll
They're giants, but they're very squeamish. And if you just, I could lift up my pinky to them, and they'll like cringe in terror and like fall to the ground.
Hey, they're like,
In
Jake,
a-
Uncle Jake, no, Uncle Jake, please.
That's funny.
They can hit the ball over the net, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, gotta see it.
Anywho,
Yeah, dude, send me some video. We should talk about this off air.
UCLA goes to the desert
But
and loses 27-10. Sometimes it's hard to be the Bruin. I won't play it again, but it's really hard to be a Bruin. I did a rambling post game in 7 parts. Before it, Jamaal and I were at the Chiba Hut enjoying ourselves. After it, we were complaining in a car outside of Arizona Stadium. And then we talked about our museum trip. And then we did listener calls. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. Talked about Mike and his crackhead motel.
oh god, did
It
you
was
hear
a
that?
fun
Did you hear
listen.
that part?
I heard. Yeah, I heard you guys
we
making.
already
fun
established
Of it.
Bill
No,
just
I heard you guys.
fast forwards
no,
through
no.
the post game.
I heard you guys making fun of it. That's all I heard. I
Anywho,
didn't know-
we do still do the most robust UCLA
something about
post game.
parking. Like someone's car was going to get towed. Jamal's car was going to get towed. Is what you were saying on the thing.
Dude,
See
that was
that?
after the game.
Told you,
This was-
Jake.
You can't redeem yourself from this, Shirley.
Oh, I'm not trying to.
I'm
be
so
Ma,
deeply
I am
offended right
redeemed.
now.
I am.
I'm so
redeemed.
deeply
He's
offended.
actually proud he told us that.
I am.
I understand you don't listen to the shows that you're a part of because you live them.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so offended. Anyways, listen to the post game. It was pretty fun, and I put it together for you guys. The sound's a little uneven on the listener calls because I was actually calling the hotline myself, laying down my response to the calls as I was driving from Tucson to Phoenix because I wanted to get this thing done. But so that was a little bit of an experiment. But otherwise, I thought it came off very well. And I think we can just characterize it as 90 minutes of catharsis. You take us from the optimism to the absolute, nadir in our faith in this program under Chip Kelly in 90 minutes. So there we go. And maybe a little bit out again. Who knows? Mike, you talked on the postgame. You don't need to say anything more about that thing. But Bill, you watched this from the comfort of your own home or from the comfort of your own smartphone, wherever you were at a volleyball practice, in the bits that you watched. But what were your thoughts on the game, 90 seconds or less?
It was frustrating. It was frustrating some of the play calling. It was frustrating to see the.
What do you mean by the play calling?
I just one of the best things about UCLA and what Chip has installed there is the run game, and it just to come out and make three throwing plays in a row, and he did it against Colorado. The same thing. Like I think he started Colorado with three throwing.
I feel like the same way against Utah as well.
Yeah, it's just
maybe against Oregon State too.
I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not an offensive coordinator. Look, he has a lot of success in the past. Whatever. Yeah. But just really frustrating. I was upset by and frustrated by losing two QBs in one game, and by the time I got to Schley, I really did just turn it off because I thought up until Garbers got hurt, I thought, well, can Garbers take him down the field and score, and then what I'm saying, like it could make it at least a game, right? And to see because if UCLA had lost by 7, I'm like okay, but it was still, what I'm saying, like but to lose the way they did and know that like to me they got dominated, like they couldn't really do what they wanted to do on offense. Their defense wasn't as good. Right, the defense didn't play as well because it was a more balanced attack versus one side, run and or.
I thought the defense was just fine through most of the game, and then they finally kind of broke at the end.
They did,
but I mean, you were expecting them to give up some plays. I mean, they can't be shutting out a team that has shown that they've improved as much as Arizona did.
Yeah. So
and at some point they just broke.
So I'm frustrated, and I turned it off. That's it. There you go. That's my 90 seconds.
I mean, just to recap, it's the epitome of getting our hopes up. And then it all comes crashing down. And what perfect place to do it? Arizona Stadium, where those hopes have been dashed several seasons before.
Many times.
But, that's the thing. It's obviously you're playing lesser talent in the non-conference. How is it such a disconnect from that to – I mean, at least, there doesn't seem to be a lot of continuity from non-conference to conference play. And, yes, again, as I said, you're playing tougher competition in conference. But to not be able to establish a run, get some passes out, you have J. Michael Sturdivant, who he's only being used, a few times a game, and this UCLA was supposed to have this better.
Well, why do you think that is, Mike?
No pass protection.
I don't think that's bullshit. I mean,
not the entire time, but there are key times like if like a tackle or a guard misses the guy on the edge. And you lose yards consecutively, in the what was it, the fourth quarter, where they just kept getting pushed back. That's hard to come back from. And yeah, it's not happening every single time, but it's just nothing was exactly working as it should have on the offense.
Ethan Garbers, God bless his soul, he doesn't go down the field at all anyway. Like, and I don't know if that's by design. I don't know if that's what Chip's telling him to do, or he just doesn't want to do it. But in the games that he has been quarterbacking, they have gone down the field almost none, in very limited circumstances. And I don't think that's all. It's not all the protection. Dante Moore's problem was he was trying to go down.
It's all the protection,
it's Dante Moore's trying to go down the field too much, and Ethan Garbers is not going down the field at all. But that was what was so frustrating to me.
And Colin Schley is like, no, I got it.
Well, Colin Schley's like, please don't throw the ball.
Yeah, it's like, I got it, and then just don't hit me that hard, please.
I'm almost convinced now, though, that like looking back, like what do you guys think about because I kind of came to the conclusion on the way back from Tucson, driving the car to Phoenix, that maybe this year we were saying before the season started that the quarterback room was really good. And it was just like, which one do you pick that's going to give them the best chance? And as long as they, like, how many times did we say before the season started, as long as they got competent quarterback play, this offense should be pretty good. But did we get competent quarterback play outside of the non-con?
No.
Not yet. We're still looking for it, really. And it's like, maybe even though we thought this quarterback room was very deep, Dante's a little green. Garbers just maybe doesn't quite have it. And then Schlee can't throw the ball. And then we don't know about Martin and we don't know about Chase. But maybe there wasn't a correct answer to this puzzle this year. How do you feel about that? Because I'm almost at the point now where I'm like, we should have just rolled with Schlee all the way through and just not thrown the ball at all and just ran, played against. We didn't know our defense was going to be this good, but it turns out they are. Like that to me, like would have been the most advantageous situation for this team. But then again, you have to get back to the point where they can't even kick a goddamn field goal. So it's like the quarterback play and the special teams play has just been catastrophic and has kept this team from being successful in these big games.
I agree with you. I don't think we should have. I agree with you to a point. I don't think Schlee was the answer or is the answer at all. I just think it's just one of those things where what we thought in the beginning, preseason was wrong, right? Like you said, we talked on the show a lot about, oh man, this quarterback, oh Dante. I was rooting for who?
By the way, Dante looked very good early on. You were rooting for Garbers.
I was rooting for Garbers. So I do see Garbers' strengths and weaknesses now. He can run. He can run, not like DTR, but like he's a semi-mobile quarterback.
I think he has everything, but he just won't throw it down the field.
He won't throw it down the field because maybe not as accurate.
The offense so bad.
So, and I see the potential of Dante. I really do, but it's just we're trapped. What is it? Hard place?
Rock and a hard place.
Thank you. I forgot the other thing.
Colossally bad timing.
Yeah, colossally bad timing and stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's really nothing we can do.
What else is new for the Bruins?
Well, I mean, there've been years where it's halfway good. This year just was one of many where it's just frustrating.
We've literally had 4 years where it really lined up in the last 25.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's a shame. And 3 of them were consecutive.
I don't think I can. And what do you think about this, Mike? I think some of this is Chip's fault. Why it hasn't lined up as much. I do. I think part of this is the. I know he's been bailed out by the transfer portal, but I think there needs to be recruiting. If he would have recruited from day one offensive linemen.
Offensive linemen weren't going to solve this problem. You don't have a quarterback that can execute the plan.
Yeah, well, I disagree because if you had offensive linemen, if you had higher end offensive linemen, Jake, then maybe Dante Moore would have had a little bit. He might not have been sacked as much. I'm not right. He got sacked a lot, and some of that was, he is trying to go downfield, but maybe some of it, if he'd had another second. That the extra talent could have given him another second, Jake. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? And that could have maybe changed the complexion of some of these games. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, this year, like I always love this saying, and it definitely reigns true this season. That if you have what is it? If you have 2 or 3 quarterbacks, you don't have one, and it's showing.
But
Moore is
that's not
too
true.
young.
They don't have any quarterbacks because they don't have any quarterbacks. They don't have 3. They don't have any. Like they don't even have 3 to have none. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. And that's
nobody that has proven they were okay.
Yeah.
This is like Matt Moore and whatever those years after Drew Olson, but before Brett Hundley. We're in that thing right now.
Yeah.
Where it's like Ben Olsen, we thought he was gonna be really good. Turns out not so much. I don't know. Dante Moore's probably better than that. But right now, they don't have anybody they can play.
Yeah.
In these big games.
And now you have potentially 3 players that are hurt. Schlee with we don't know how injured or not, how healthy he is from, apparently he broke his sternum in that Oregon State game. You have Ethan Garbers who can't put weight on his right foot for the most part.
But Schlee came back and played though. Is he really like...
Oh, I know that's the thing. Well, apparently he's better enough to get back in a game, but I'm just wondering, like, if he broke it or badly bruised it or something like that.
He's not fully operational?
Yeah, that's my concern. And then Dante, who, if you have a concussion, you don't want to mess with that. Obviously, he was out practicing, but yeah, there's a whole lot of needs on this offense.
They need one thing. They need a goddamn quarterback that can play.
Offensive
line
too. Watch it. Bill, say it.
Offensive line.
if they would just run the ball, they wouldn't. They wouldn't
rolled
be
his eyes
nearly
so
as bad.
hard.
Of course.
It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable.
Well, it's because of
And
the
by the way,
offensive line.
just because of goddamn
just-
sack, it's all the offensive line. But like,
I
I'm
didn't
not
say-
saying
I
it's
didn't
not-
say
you
that.
guys-
Always
no,
offensive
I didn't-
line.
look at
I'm
that.
just saying.
He hasn't finished his first drink and he's already off the rails.
I actually had two Augustas.
Jesus.
No, there
I
are
actually had two Augustas.
no, there are a lot of problems at any given time. Penalties don't help.
Oh, the Twins averaging at least one F-up penalty a game.
You can't really like throw too much shade on the defense though. Like they've done more than their
But I
their share
can
this year.
I can critique that the Twins do.
That's fine. The
offer
Twins
up-
haven't cost them any games.
Yeah, they have a question.
No, they
They have
could have
not
got
cost
him
many
off the.
games.
They
They've
were.
not cost
It was
many games.
third and blank. It was third and like 12, 15, and then they do a personal foul. Yes, they have Jake, and it's fine. It is what it is. But it's not all on him. But I pretty much put money on one of the Twins getting a personal foul each effing game.
I mean, it's on him for that moment, but that's one of thousands of moments in a game like this.
Coming
And-
around.
and-
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, I was just saying, like there were just many factors, not just one person or one player or one coach. There was a lot to go around that just did not work.
Coming around to that before we get to the coaching situation as a whole, right? There was a story that did Bro have it too, or was it just Ben Bolch?
Bro.
About Oladejo with the quote about we were disjointed or disunified.
Well, all the reporters did because it was
All
at
the reports.
it was
It was
at the
during the
scrum,
scrum, right?
yeah.
So yeah. Bro reported
Yeah, that
but
was
Bolch wrote-
interesting.
Bolch wrote a little feature on it though, and obviously it sounds bad. And Bolch's like story starts like, something like that. To me, it's like no shit. No shit. Basically Oladejo comes out and says we were a little disunified on defense as the game went on because we weren't getting anything from the offense. And to me, it was like, yeah, no dud. That's how it works, right? You can play really, really hard, but if you constantly have to go out there and expecting to get a 3 and out, eventually it's going to break. And that was kind of the same story for the Oregon State game, and it would have been the same story for the Utah game, but Utah had such a crappy offense too that it was kind of just like the Spider-Man guys shooting against each other. But what did you guys think of Oladejo's quote? I kind of just was like, yeah, that's how the game played out. But I didn't look at it as, oh my God, this is disunity in the locker room like the '98 Bruins when there was like a freaking race riot in the locker room.
Yeah,
Like
that was
this
more
is not that level,
no,
and
no,
that's
no,
what
no.
it was intimated at by some of these stories. And it's just like, no, within the context of the game, of course, if you're playing defense like you're trying to get out there and keep it going, if the offense is giving you nothing, it's going to get discouraging, and at some point you're going to break. They broke against Oregon State in the third quarter. They break against Arizona in the fourth quarter. That's just how it goes. But did you guys read that differently, or how do you feel?
No, I didn't think it was as inflammatory as you're putting it, Jake.
I'm just going by Bolch's story for the show.
I thought it was interesting, and I could see how a defense could do that.
Absolutely.
Right. I could see how they could get focused on the wrong things, get a little frustrated. Right. That's normal. It's human nature. Right. So it's really cool that he actually opened up about something like this.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what he
what I
gets for
think.
being honest, though, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
turn it into a referendum on,
Well,
oh my
I mean-
God, the locker room splintered.
Well, I mean, is it though? I mean, I didn't think it was that sensationalist by Ben Bolch, but I did think I was shocked when I first heard it. I was like, oh, he said it again. Wow, he said it the third time. So it must have been something. But yeah, but Bill's right. If this is something that they want to keep in-house, they would definitely keep it in-house. But to say, yeah, we're a little separated right now, and we got to bring that back together. That's kind of taking a position of, look, we're effing up. We're gonna handle it. We got to move on.
Well, like I said, I didn't read it as separated right now. I separated during that game. That's what unraveled. Sometimes you're in a game and shit unravels,
Yeah.
like for all
no
sorts
doubt.
of reasons.
Yeah.
But it's not. That doesn't mean that they're still in that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for them, I mean, we'll talk about it in a few minutes. They have a cure for what ails them, and that's ASU, which I think, especially as bad as
I got a
ASU is.
fever.
Good Lord. Well, but wait till you get my score prediction, Mikey. But all things being equal, it seems like the Bruins do have a get well pill coming in the shape of the Sun Devils. We should hope, but that should make that part of it right. But moving along, before we get on to the game that will be, obviously what's coming out of this game, and I can only characterize it as just another swing of the pendulum. And that feels what the entire Chip Kelly era has been. It has been, oh my God, unbelievable optimism because of the potential there and the potential we see, to, oh my God, how is this happening to us with the mounting losses early on, and then the hovering around 500 as a program the last 3 years. They've finally put together some winning seasons, but they haven't really won any games of real significance other than a couple last year for sure. But these wild swings of expectation with the program has caused not only a giant amount of disengagement with the fan base. We can see that in our numbers as a show.
Yeah,
I can tell you,
even a lot of positive people are kind of like, okay, maybe we're maybe it's time to move on.
Well, and then there's a very loud, group on the negative side that have been there since the program created a couple years ago.
UCLA fans?
Yeah. Oh,
What?
I know, it's amazing. Right?
What? Here?
But then you have on the other side of it people that are like very pro chip, but those are getting more quiet. But it seems like with every win, it's like, oh, see, he really is the guy. And then with every loss, it's like, oh my God, fire him right now. And it's like we've been on this roller coaster for 3 years now. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very fatiguing, is all I can say. We were literally talking about national titles when Chip Kelly was hired. Do you remember that, guys? Yeah. We were literally talking national titles.
What did
the Godfather was singing Chip, Chimmery, Chiroo. All that stuff. The ceiling was literally the roof.
The ceiling is the roof.
And then he turns in 2 of the worst seasons in school history, and he starts 10-21 in his first 3 years. And then that's when, people like Michael Hanna and the Anarchist.
I'm a bomb-throwing anarchist now.
They kind of, flip on that and start. And by the way, the relationship with the media didn't help, in the way he kind of handled some of those things. But he turns in those bad 3 seasons, and then he puts together seasons with increasing numbers of wins. He goes from what, Mike, 3 to 4, and then 3 in the COVID season, and then 8.
Well, the best way to say that is that his win percentage increased every single year.
Thank you. His win percentage increased every single year. Thank you. That's what I was getting at. But with that increasing win percentage, every season had its own spectacular embarrassment or end in some sort of infamy. The COVID year, even though he got to 3 and 4,
and a bunch of easy seasons as well. Sorry,
what does that mean?
Strength of schedule.
Oh yeah. We're not even there yet. I'm just saying, like,
oh, you're getting there. Okay.
The COVID year, he goes 3 and 4, but the problem is he ends with 2 horrible, terrible losses to SC and Stanford.
Yeah, might as well have been.
The year he breaks through with the win against LSU, and then a couple of years, they beat all the easy opponents, but then it ends with forfeiting a bowl game in mysterious circumstances, right? Mm-hmm. And then last year, he has 2 really nice wins against Utah, and what was the other big one last year? I'm trying to think of who it is now. Whatever.
Washington?
Yeah, Washington, Utah. And we're like, oh my God, we've arrived. Bill, do you remember arriving last year?
I was at the Washington game. It was great with you.
So awesome. That was so cool.
I arrived with my Maybach.
Bill, give me it's so cool.
From my God.
So cute.
Thank you. But then last year ends with a lost to SC, which, by the way, no blame there. That was a tough game. DTR.
That was a fun game.
DTR you had in your hands, and it didn't come through, but we still love you, big guy. But they lost to Arizona. Just,
That was the FU game.
And then the Pittsburgh loss. Inexplicable horribleness. Yeah. And then this year, it's like every time they win, they're like, oh, yeah, we're here, Dante. Woo-hoo-hoo. And then seemingly every one of the measuring stick tests, have they passed one, guys? Did they pass against Utah?
This year, no.
Did they pass against Oregon State?
No.
Did they pass against Arizona?
No.
And here we are now. So where are we at with this goddamn program, guys? Bill, you're first.
I'm frustrated, and I am officially off the Chip bandwagon. Look, to be fair to him, because might as well. He still has 4 games. If he could win if he win ASU, USC, and then Cal, and a bowl game, then it's like
then you're at 10 wins.
You're at 10 wins. That's awesome. Don't think that's happening, but that's there. So, I don't think that's happening. So therefore, I'm saying I'm just getting frustrated, and it's like UCLA is about to go into the Big Ten. It's going to be a rough season next year. So I'm thinking,
why do you say that?
I'm just looking at the schedule.
I'm just saying.
That's what I said in the
LSU.
post-game.
What do you mean?
If you have this team, let's say it's almost same level of talent and development as next year. That's going to be rough going at Penn State against Washington, USC.
And LSU, guys, LSU at LSU. I mean, like
every other.
Jake, why do you think that? Yeah, F you, Jake.
No, sorry. The next year's schedule is just.
You
gonna be
think
brutal.
that the at LSU hosting Oregon at Penn State's a tough tough part of the schedule?
God,
you guys are dicks.
I'm projecting. This is what I assume.
So with that said, it's almost like
I have been 6-3 after 9 games.
Yeah. Do you sit there and go? Do you do it now as the AD?
Well, that's the question, right?
Or do you wait until rough, which is probably going to be a losing season next year? Do you do it then?
Why would it be a losing season though? That's the thing. This is what I'm saying. It keeps getting characterized. And by the way,
well, it was a bad loss, so that for now, that's the temperature of the program.
Bear with me for a minute.
It's
though.
cold.
Bear with me for a minute, though.
and it's not heating up.
No shit.
It's garbanzo and not tortilla. Not garbanzo. What's the cold one? I'm trying to bring some comment, Jake.
I'm literally going to throw my cup at both of you. I got one for each of you.
Oh man. Gazpacho. That's the cold soup I was thinking about, as opposed to like a warmer seasonal soup that is actually something that people would want.
Big applause, Big Mike.
And not like settle for this.
Mike Regalado.
Bill said it earlier, and it's frustrating and it's tiresome. After 6 years. Sorry, Jake. After 6 years, even I'm like, okay, is like I said on the post game,
we're good.
If UCLA wants mediocrity, keep him. Because he hasn't proven to be anything else. If they want excellence, you got to go find someone else. Because right now, yeah, sure, he might happen, but it's not happening right now. NIL is not great, and you're not really bringing in the big recruiting classes. It's okay, but the fan base doesn't want just okay.
Well, I don't even know. The fan base isn't even engaged at this point. Like, there's a couple of weirdos on Twitter, namely the anarchist. This guy.
I'm a bomb throwing anarchist now.
This guy.
It's been a solid 28 hours or so of feeling myself.
And Kosher Bruin are all like, "Oh my God, ah!" But nobody else cares. Like, we care. And we've been like kind of ambivalent or optimistic for this whole time. And this guy too, he's been on the
Iron Mike.
That guy's been pretty optimistic, but now he's like, he's mad now too.
I feel bad for Will. He's been super positive.
I love that guy. He's fun. He's a nice guy.
But I mean, honestly,
but there's so much baggage though. The media hates Chip because Chip has treated him like shit the whole time.
Yeah, it's on him.
That's of his own doing, right? Mm-hmm. The fans tuned out because he had turned in 2 of the worst seasons in school history after we all thought we were going to a national title, right? And so the fan engagement is low, the media engagement is low, and if he does anything wrong, they're out with their knives very quickly, right? Every loss, now all of a sudden we have to hear the recap of, oh, gee whiz, if Chip is going to equal any of these other coaches, he's going to have to win this many straight. This is from the anarchist.
I'm a bomb throwing anarchist now.
To match Jim Moore's record, he would have to win 17 straight. To match Carl DeRoe's record, he'd have to win 9 straight. This is to get to the winning percentage. To get to Bob Toledo, he'd have to win 16 straight. And to get to Terry, he'd have to get to 26 straight, right? It's all of these stats come out against Chip when he has one of these losses, even though in the last 3 years, he's won a lot more than he's lost. Now, you can say he only has a couple quality wins in there too. And it's all like perfectly understandable. But, I mean, I think that is the biggest kind of indication that it may be time to move on is just that, well, there's no engagement whatsoever.
Apathy.
You go to the Rose Bowl and it's like me and like Mike up in the press box and like 17 other people. Good old Nancy's there, Leo's there, and nobody else. It's an empty Rose Bowl. And that I don't remember that even when we were shitty in the late aughts. You get more people at the Rose Bowl. And I don't understand it. Because the last 3 years have had teams, they're not winning big games, but they've been fun freaking teams for a variety of reasons. These are teams that people should get behind, but they're not because they're just like, I'm checked out. And to me, that's the biggest argument against having Kelly around.
Why? That's on Chip Kelly, too. Lack of fan engagement, lack of excitement. I mean, in the middle of the summer, do you want to go see a Jane Austen movie or do you want to see, the next Avengers? It's like, sure, the Jane Austen will educate you and it'll make you feel certain ways, but I want to see bangs and booms and the good guys winning by 50 and UCLA, being ranked every week. This there is no excitement. That's part of the fan apathy.
I think that's the biggest strike against him.
Yeah.
Because if you look in a vacuum, the team this year, they haven't won a game on the road. They haven't won a big game on the road, but it's still a good team. It's a fun team to follow.
Yeah.
The offense has been a train wreck, but it's still like there's plenty of things I like about this team. Last year, that was a fun goddamn ride through that whole season. Yeah, they had some disappointing moments, but those are cool teams. But it's the baggage that he has that's really dragging him down. Could you agree with that, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a blast. The thing about going to the Big Ten next year, I think, is completely overwrought. I think that we're in better shape going to the Big Ten next year.
Should we put money on this?
Easily. You're smoking some serious peyote.
What am I even arguing against? Like, what point am I bringing up?
You're about to say that it's not as bad as we think it's going to be next year when I'm telling you it's going to be effing horrible.
What would that be?
Oh, that 6 wins?
That
6 wins
tough
is
ass
shit.
schedule against all those Big Ten teams, which
6 wins is shit.
Which currently looks they look pretty brutal compared to UCLA.
6 wins.
I think both of you are smoking crack when you were like putting all of this.
No. Those were my potential hotel mates smoking crack 10 feet away from me while I was trying to check in.
Yes.
Dude had nunchucks around his neck. It was awesome. I was like, am I going to survive this night?
I'm saying is
I quit my keys.
UCLA has a Big Ten team right now. We would be doing just fine in the Big Ten as like a just second tier, pretty damn good team in the Big Ten right now.
Is that what you want, though?
Jesus Christ. What do you want? Do you want to win the Big Ten?
Yes.
Win the Big Ten?
I want to win the. I want to win the Big 12, Pac-12. I want to win the Pac-12. I
just love to be in the championship in the game.
I want to be in the conversation. At least give me a New Year's Eve bowl. Something.
Can you guys both acknowledge?
I don't want to play Stadia Bowl.
There's a big difference between going 6-6 or sub 6-6 in the Big Ten and winning the Big Ten. There's a lot of room in between those 2 points.
Exactly.
And all I'm saying is, right now, UCLA has a Big Ten team. They have a team that will be playing successful in the Big Ten right now. Now, next year, they're not going to have Latu. They're not going to have Darius Musau. But they're going to have the Murphys. They're going to have guys. They're going to have Oladejo. They might have a quarterback in his second year that's actually pretty good with Dante Moore in his second year of development. And all I'm saying is, going to the Big Ten next year, we're in better shape than SC is. They're losing their fucking entire team because their entire team is one fucking guy. They're a fucking smoking train wreck other than that. And so it's not all about... What is that? Oh, yeah. Royals? What's the reference?
I want to be Royals, Jake.
I don't want overnight. Look.
I know it's not overnight.
It's 6 years. 6 years, effer. You're such an apologist.
I want to fire Chip Kelly too. God damn it! What I'm saying is, all this stuff is all of the.
I love you guys.
Oh my gosh!
Bump it.
Fuck you. All I'm saying is that, and by the way, we make the argument that's convenient to the point we're trying to make a lot of the time. And the Big Ten has 3 really good teams, and the rest
and 2 ugly ones?
Outright garbage. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Thousands of beautiful girls and 1 ugly one. Right? It's the deja vu of conferences. It absolutely is. Okay?
Well, then that's even worse because that means like only Rutgers and the rest is like
UCLA's
8+ wins.
I don't even know where we're off the rails here.
No, I get it.
What I'm saying is, I'm not afraid of going to Rutgers. I'm not afraid of going to Nebraska. I'm not afraid of Iowa. I'm not afraid of I'm not even afraid of freaking Indiana.
Oh, I don't think it's about being afraid. I'm just saying it's already set in motion. This is what's going to happen, and it doesn't look good. That's just my perspective. It doesn't look good right now.
Fine.
It's not going to be good. He's going off on this thing, and it's going to suck next year. Because he's not. He keeps on saying Big Ten. Who are we playing in the preseason? You effer.
Hawaii, Fresno, and LSU.
Fresno and fucking LSU are probably going to
Fresno's
smoke
at the end of the year, and we're hosting them.
Oh, doesn't matter. Do you think that matters?
That's so weird.
Mr. One-Arm Quarterback took us out last time. Good old Chip. You know, remember that effing game? You were there with Colby.
Wow. They don't have Kalen DeBoer anymore.
I don't care who they have. They're still going to.
Right,
no, Kalen DeBoer is in the other,
look,
wait, new Big Ten team.
I'm just saying, Jake, there's a high probability, even though you're arguing against it, there's a higher probability of them not being a good Big Ten team next year because of this. There's a lot more stuff that you're not taking into account. The excess travel could possibly be something that they're not used to. That's a lot of traveling. And
You guys are just completely dismissing my point out of hand, though.
I
All I'm
disagree.
saying is they're built like a Big Ten team right now. And so everybody's saying, oh, they're going to murder the Big Ten. I don't think that's really an issue. What the issue is that there's no fan support. Everybody hates Chip Kelly, and I think that's a cancerous situation on its own. But as far as being afraid to go to the Big Ten, like if they go to the Big Ten with a brand new coach or they go to the Big Ten with Chip Kelly, they're probably going to win 6 or 7 games, and that'll be that. Like,
And
there's nothing's going to change that.
And that's crap.
And I don't want that. Like if Chip Kelly would have done stuff 2 years ago to make this team, like let's say they only lose to Oregon State this year. What is that? 8-1 at this point. People would love that. They
it
would
would
eat that
change
up.
what the Big Ten would be like.
Yes, it would, because they would have a better team going into the Big Ten.
He's arguing.
All they need to have a better team right now is a quarterback. If they have a quarterback that plays better next year, the problem is this season, their fatal flaw is a quarterback. Next season, their fatal flaw is going to be that they're going to have lost all their defensive guys.
Okay, see, you're kind of adding to my point.
Jake, look, he's not gonna agree with this, Mike. It's fine. It is what it is.
Well, you guys aren't even listening to the point I'm trying to make.
That's good radio,
fine.
though. It's good radio.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know if it's radio, but good podcasting.
But is it?
Yes, this is fantastic.
But is it?
Do you have
But
such emotion like this?
is it?
Look,
On Pod Save America? Sometimes.
I hate
Sometimes.
you both.
look what happens when
I
he
feel
drinks.
so
He
ganged up on.
drinks so much.
Do you have this passion on murder podcasts? I don't think so. Maybe 3.
Do you think we drink too much?
No, we don't drink too much. Men face reality, women don't. That's why men need to drink.
I hate it when podcasters talk about what they're drinking.
What else am I gonna drink, Bob? A fucking Fresca?
Mike, we have a Patreon. Patreon.com/whatsbruinshow or whatsbruinshow.com. How much a month?
$2.
$2 a month. You can support us into the future. We love you. Bill, we have a Substack. Whatsbruins.substack.com. How much a month is that?
I think it's 10.
It's definitely not 10.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's something like $5 a month. Whatever you do, we support.
10.
We appreciate your support. Mikey, what are you drinking?
Just because I was at Trader Joe's, I love that place. You get a lot of it's one of the last places you can get really good food on the cheap. F inflation. F the government. I got Swami's.
Totally sucks!
I love this one.
Good job, Mike.
What are you talking about? I'm the anarchist here.
That's right. Push the button, Jake. Push the effing button.
I'm a bomb throwing anarchist now.
No. Swami's from
The government totally sucks, you motherfucker. The government totally sucks.
This one is from Pizza Port Brewing. I've had this plenty of times, but I just absolutely love it. Swami's India Pale Ale. It comes in a 4-pack of Tallies. And yeah, what do you guys got?
I have a 4-ounce pour of my cherry bourbon and my peach bourbon put together.
Oh my God.
It wasn't too bad.
Ooh.
And I have a lovely Diet Coke, caffeine free.
And he had a 7-Up before that. And this mother effer won't stop burping. I keep having to stop the show. It's like,
I do.
burping.
Just burping away.
And then, by the way, when he's not burping,
I'm farting.
it's coming out the other direction.
I had Chipotle.
I hate this guy so much.
So good.
It's the worst.
So good.
You need
All right.
Chipotle away.
Chipotle.
Blue 32! Blue 32! California! California! Hood! Hey! Football!
Before we move on to the game that will be final action, because I stopped the argument on Chip Kelly because you guys were being dicks. But
We were being right.
Yeah, I know.
Like they need to blitz all the time.
don't get me started. Don't get me fucking
4, 5, 6. The more the better.
Don't get me started.
12 if we could.
Yeah. Get 12 in on the field so you can blitz them all.
Yeah.
That's Mike.
Why are there flags on the field? I don't know.
Football for dummies for these guys. Okay, so where do you stand on the is it time? And just you could be is it time right now, blow them out right now? Is it we wait till the end of the season, see what the record is, and see where we're at, or this is just it has to end now, mercifully?
Here we go.
Bill, your thoughts?
I think wait until the end of the season. and see where it lands. Because if he's like at 9-10 wins, guys, it's really going to be really freaking hard to fire him.
If they're at 9 or 10 wins, are you firing him?
No, you can't. You can't fire him. It's just not
Chip
even.
Kelly's coming for you.
Yeah,
Bill's on it. Chip Kelly's coming for you. If he gets to how many wins?
9 plus wins would.
So I mean, he could
9 plus wins. So he has to. What does that mean? He can only lose one more game. Right? Only lose one more game.
So they lose to SC. They win the other 2. They win the bowl game.
Yeah.
Chip coming for you.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly's coming for you.
I just don't see
Would
how
you be
it's
happy with that?
No, but I understand why you couldn't fire. You're not going to fire.
So
a
that's what I'm
9-1
saying.
coach.
So you're on the. They're not going to fire him if he gets to 9.
Yeah.
But in a vacuum, all things being equal, do you want him to fire him?
Yeah, I want to move on.
So Bill is a.
Chip Kelly's coming for you.
Practically speaking, but in his heart of hearts,
Chip Kelly can kind of be a dick.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, I don't.
And
Mikey, how do you feel?
So 8 wins.
Done.
Time to move on. 9 wins. You can't fire a 9-win coach.
I mean, when's the last time a 9-win coach was fired?
Yeah,
Seriously,
that's part
think
of
about
it. It's
that.
like-
and by the way, look at how many
well,
times UCLA's won 9 wins in this, like in the last,
Yeah. Well, part of
50
the
years?
argument, and I get it too. It's that you win 9 games in a season that doesn't have a tough strength of schedule, which
Oh.
I get that. But at
I
the same
totally get
time,
that.
it's still 9 wins. It's better than the 3 in year 1. But something else to consider. I finally found it. I was looking it up. If Chip Kelly is fired before December of this year, 3 weeks from now, he receives 8.5. If he's fired after terminated, where's the date here? He gets 4.27 million. Yeah, it goes down almost by half. If he's terminated before 2024,
Mike.
So you have to figure out when. Like you were saying, do you fire him, or whichever one you were saying, do you fire him now, or do you fire him, see how he does in the first year of the Big 12,
10,
Big 10? I keep saying that. And at that point, go, okay, now we're going to have Big 10 money. The buyout is going to be a lot cheaper. You have to see exactly what he does this year. You can't fire him now. He just got a big extension, but I'm with Bill. 9 wins is the safe point.
So I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Okay.
Does Chip Kelly get fired, practically speaking, if he gets 9 or 10 wins?
No, I don't. Again, I don't see how you fire him with 9 wins.
Chip Kelly's coming for you.
Now, in your heart of hearts,
Mm-hmm.
do you want Chip Kelly fired? Those are 2 different questions.
They completely are. And right
Chip
now,
Kelly
I would
can
say
kind of be.
Because it's only mediocrity, you got to move on. But at the
Chip
same
Kelly
time,
can kind of be a dick.
there are 3 games remaining. 3 games that
There's 4 games remaining.
Could be a win. Well, yeah, with the bowl game, yes. If you get to 10 wins, obviously you can't do that. When's the last time UCLA got to 10 wins? But and then you also see that's a tough thing. Sometimes it's hindsight.
I asked tough questions.
No, and it's valid because
F you, Cronkite.
Because people that are saying this week Chip Kelly should be fired
I'm
now.
not asking about people.
They want tarmac. No,
I'm asking about Mike Regalado.
You cannot. No, you can't fire him
Mike.
right now. You have to wait until after the Cal game to see how this season unfolds.
So you don't think Chip Kelly should be fired?
It's a wait and see for me. But but like I said in the post game,
Chip Kelly's coming
if
for
we
you.
continually see mediocrity, and if that's what UCLA is fine with, then keep him. If you want to be elite, and Chip Kelly he hasn't shown that at UCLA, you have to move on.
What do you think?
That is what I think. It's a wait and see process. You can't say, hey, you can't.
Okay, so they get to 9 wins, which means they lose 1 more game this season. Where are you at?
Depends on what.
No, it doesn't. Oh,
yeah,
no.
it does. It depends on which team they lose to and how they lose to them.
They lose to SC.
By how much? 1 point? You
1
can't.
point.
No. If they lose to SC by 50 to nothing, yeah, no, that's another thing. Losing in an embarrassing fashion to your rival, that is not going to stand with not just fans and media. The donors are going to have something to say about that.
What if they win the last 3 and then lose the bowl game?
Well, who cares at that point? He's at 9 wins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to suck.
Chip Kelly's coming for you.
But you also do have to think about 9 wins. You can't fire a 9-win coach. Plus, this offense should get better. Dante Moore should get better.
We already talked about the practically speaking they can or they can't fire him. I'm saying in Mike Regalado's heart, Should they fire him?
With 9 wins? No, I already said that. You can't fire a 9-win coach.
Fair enough.
No, I would say you do not fire him if he wins these last 3, especially if he beats SC and then loses to, I don't know, freaking Louisville, or I don't know who. They're not going to be in a big bowl. It's going to be, a second or
Which
or
makes
third
the
tier.
loss all the more embarrassing.
Exactly. Oh, you're going to the Las Vegas Bowl. Oh, you lost by 3 to Boston College or who the hell matchup it is. Especially if it's against a team that on paper you should beat. Like last year, UCLA absolutely should have beat Pittsburgh. There was no reason for that comeback. There's absolutely no reason UCLA, which has 9 wins, just put up, just beats, USC, which was a top 10 team at the start of the season, even though they have proven to not be. Yeah, but that's the thing. These are just scenarios. As of now, no. You have to wait to see how he does after the Cal game. I rest my case. I don't want to drop this mic. Somebody say something.
It'd be nice if somebody asked me what I thought, but
throw a
you guys
flag.
are just dicks, so we're going to move on to the game that will be.
Bill, what do you think
guys.
about this? Jake.
See this?
It's the game that will be.
Deuces.
It's the game that will be.
He is right now.
Okay.
It seemed like
Hey, guys,
I
real
gave
quick.
the same answer like 3
Wait.
times.
No, Mike.
Lick a chode in the party zone.
Jake becomes more Cartman every drink he effing gets. He's gone from it's good. Second grade ski gas, and the last one, eat a chode, you mother ever. That's he's, I swear to God, he's fucking Cartman every drink. Swear to God.
Yeah, Jake is almost on
game.
like, thank you, Kenny.
The game. The game that will be.
Jake, what do you
UCLA.
think? Do you think Chip Kelly should be
Fuck
fired?
you guys.
Really
You missed a
quickly.
chance to hear my opinion.
3 words. You get 3 words. Should Chip Kelly be fired?
No. Right now? Wait.
Oh,
yes.
no, too late.
No.
You said no
wait,
right now?
Yes. No, wait, yes. Is that clear enough for you?
Yes.
There you go. Okay. No, wait, yes.
I think they should fire him right now. But if they don't,
Really?
they shouldn't fire him. You should fire him now because you're giving him the opportunity to win his way back into, they can't fire him. You should be like, you just failed all 3 of your major tests. And if they blow him out right now, then I'd be like, fine, good, let's move on. Because he's shown you what his ceiling is for all these sorts of arguments. However, if they allow him to win his way back into the job, because I think they're going to kill ASU, although my score prediction will not reflect that. I think they're going to beat SC because, if he runs the ball, he'll beat SC because SC's defense is so bad, and I think UCLA's defense is going to kill Caleb Williams, like Matt Barkley style kill Caleb Williams. And then I think they're going to beat Cal, obviously, and I think that he might actually win a bowl game for once. So I think it's a very legitimate chance that the Bruins get to 10. And I think they're basically guaranteed 9. At that point, I agree with you guys. You can't practically fire him. So do I think that we should move on from Chip? In my heart of hearts, yes, I do. Will I be crushed if they don't? No, because there are a lot of things that I admire about this program. There are a lot of things that I take pride in this program. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like we've certainly capped how good our program can be. And so with that, hope springs eternal. Get another guy in there that can hopefully do a better job. And by the way, I'd like it if more people listen to the What's Bruin show, but they don't because they're all fed up with Chip Kelly. So just for those reasons alone, I'm like, cut the cord. But they're not going to.
Good record
and since they're
does sell.
Let's go. I'm sorry.
Don't be. That's why I asked you the question.
Thanks. A little bit late. We're already in the game that will be. You guys are dicks. Screw you guys. I'm already home.
Yeah.
Well, someone didn't give me the cue to throw it back to him. Keep it going. Next topic. Game that will be.
Thanks, guys. UCLA is a 17-point favorite at the Rose Bowl.
Under.
Can they even score 17 points at this point? Is the defense going to score 17 points?
Arizona State can't. That's for sure.
I mean, I still don't know who's starting. I don't know who's starting.
Just
hey, by the way,
reading the tea leaves, I think it'll be more.
I hope so.
More.
I want to see. Do you want more? But
with some Schlee action.
In case you didn't know, ASU is in the exact same situation, only with worse players. Mm-hmm. We have a guy named Garbers who can do a dink and dunk offense. We have a guy named Moore that showed against lesser competition he could light it up. They have a guy named Bourget who got injured. He might not even play. And beyond that, they got nobody. Their guy, Jaden Rashada, the guy who decommitted from one of those Florida schools with the NIL and the big old scandal, he's hurt. He's not playing.
Yeah.
They got nobody. They're running Wildcat with a guy named Scattaboo. FYI. That's why the line is -17, in case you didn't know. Preview of what our preview is. UCLA -17 against Arizona State at the Rose Bowl, 7:30 p.m., another goddamn night game, untelevised on the Pac-12 network. That's what we have going for us.
What? Oh, you're just being facetious. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's only been about a year we doing that. But yes, untelevised on the Pac-12 network. By the way, I'm glad Bill will be at the house watching the game with me. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to the Rose Bowl this weekend.
That's right.
Megan's in town. We're staying home.
That's right.
Sergeant Phil will be taking my tickets, taking his kid, one of his kids. So
Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy.
Okay, cool.
Anyways, I'm glad that that Bill actually invited himself over, but he's more than welcome to come. Mike, I know you have to work the game. Otherwise, you'd be welcome to come.
I'd totally be here.
But Jamaal, you can't watch the game because me and Bill are going to watch it. So don't kick me off my feet, you son of a bitch. But,
dude, I've done that too, where I'm like watching like a Kings game or something like that, and then it cuts off, and texting my buddy Jim, "Get off! I'm watching the game."
I'm going to the Kings game tomorrow night, by the way.
What?
Against the Golden Knights.
Oh.
In Las Vegas. Because I'm driving to Vegas.
Oh, that's
tomorrow.
right. You're going to Vegas. Yeah.
Anyways,
Kings are kicking some ass right now.
I apologize in advance to all you listeners. It's a little loosey-goosey. But anyways.
No, you're a little loosey-goosey.
F you, Bill. You host a goddamn show then.
You're drunk, bro. Go home.
Swear to God.
Go home, bro.
ESPN Win Predictor has this game as a 90.6% win probability for the Bruins. They have an over-under of Vegas's of 44.5 last time I checked. It's an implied score of 31 to 13-ish. Bill Connolly has this as a 91% win probability. We're right there with ESPN. He has a score prediction of 37 to 14. UCLA, bigger spread, minus 22.9 for this UCLA game versus the spastic Arizona State team.
The spastic Arizona State team.
So, with that in mind, let's get to trivia real quick, and then let's get on with this because we still have a lot to do.
Now it's time for Jake's Trivia, brought to you by Jake, bringing you all the coolest trivia of UCLA football's opponent for this coming week. And now, Jake.
Mike, do you remember where this drop came from?
The spastic Arizona State team. I think that's when I was talking about
Year one?
Lou Ferrigno, his guest spot in the Girls Just Want to Have Fun video by Cyndi Lauper. No?
I don't think so.
No?
I think it was referring to Bobby Hurley and the basketball team. That's okay. And by the way, we had Lou Ferrigno do a promo for the LA Grizzlies. It was fun. It was pretty cool.
Did you meet him?
No, or am I thinking Captain
Yes.
Lou Albano? Who's the one with the nose?
You're telling me Lou Albano.
Lou Albano, sorry. Lou Ferrigno's the Hulk.
Yes.
That's right. This whole show is...
And he's hearing challenged.
It's not. Aw.
What year was ASU founded?
1890.
Bill is so close!
Wow.
What was it?
1885.
Oh, okay.
And it was founded as the Territorial Normal School.
Oh, that's right.
At Tempe.
The spastic Arizona State team. Because that was when during the Todd Graham era, and he had that really spastic, I wasn't lying. That
No, you were talking about Bobby Hurley, I think. This is a basketball reference.
No, that was the Todd Graham defense.
Okay.
Which was a ton of blitzing that we loved.
Yeah, exactly. I had 5.
You guys are like, I wish we could have Todd Graham. I'm like, guys, it sucks.
Well, they blitzed 17. How'd they do that? They
It
just did.
sucks.
But no, but that was also the Miles Jack year where
Miles freaking Jack.
UCLA was on a roll. Arizona State comes into the Rose Bowl and just
pops up,
deflates the whole freaking thing.
ASU, over the years, has been known as a party school.
No.
Featured in the likes of Playboy and I want to say like Forbes and things as one of the legendary party schools. But for the last decade, they have been fighting against that reputation.
Why, Jake?
You know one of the the university presidents. What's that guy's name at ASU? It's like Michael something. I want to say. I can't think of his name. No, not Michael Scott. He acts like Michael Scott.
Cool if it was.
They have been fighting against the ASU party school reputation for a number of years, and ASU has not appeared in the national party school rankings in over a decade. Believe it or not.
Not in here.
Yeah.
Not in the heart.
I didn't know that. I literally did not know there was a whole ranking for that.
However,
not in the movie Ted.
When these
Part 2.
Exactly. When these rankings were being, when this process was going on, one of my favorite quotes about ASU was coined by young, at the time, sophomore Chelsea Frank. She's a member of a group devoted to making ASU the #1 party school in the nation. This is circa 2013. Regarding the crackdown on partying that had things like frat row being decommissioned, they condemned a frat house and chased away a bunch of fraternities from their campus. But once you're in the midst of this battle, her quote about her school and the expectations she had of her time there was, "I came out here from New York expecting to walk onto an Asher Roth music video because ASU was supposed to be renowned as a party school. What is this new American university bullshit? We're not goddamn Harvard or Yale." That was a ASU student speaking about her university.
It's true.
Know your role. Harvard.
Know your role. Right?
So I had this real quick, Jake, that because you brought it up, I thought that was amazing. As of right now, it's niche.com, which does a lot of educational stuff, ranking schools and blah, blah, blah. 2024 top party schools in America. Here we go. Can you do you think, I know when I say the name, you're going to go, okay, #1 as of right now.
Humboldt.
Santa Cruz?
God, you guys are pretty close. You realize it's in California. You know that, at least.
Chico.
It's actually UCSB.
Oh, Santa Barbara.
Right.
Go Gauchos.
Yes. Go Gauchos. Yeah.
I totally buy that.
Yeah, so it goes, just a quick top 10. UCSB, Florida State, Tulane.
You don't get this on other
Yeah,
podcasts.
New Orleans, baby.
Tulane, Alabama, Roll Tide, Syracuse, USC, Georgia,
sense.
Wisconsin, University of Illinois, and finally top 10. At HBCU, Howard University.
That's wonderful, Bill. Thank you
go.
for that.
You're welcome.
Contribution. Another sign that ASU that they party hard there. They play at Sun Devil Stadium. But what's the name of the field?
I don't know. What would that be?
Named after one of their famous coaches, Frank
yeah.
Cush
Yeah.
Stadium.
That's
Frank
right.
Cush
That's right.
Stadium. So unrelated but related. UCLA is 23-15-1 against Sparky. Sparky will go down now that we're not going to be a member of the Pac-12 anymore. They're going on the Big 12. But Sparky has got to be one of my favorite mascots in school history. I love Sparky.
Dude, my grandmother, super Catholic, hated them because of it.
Sun Devils.
That's how you know it's a good mascot.
Her and Herm Edwards, right? All right. So
We're the Devils? Bro. You just got hired to this place.
What do you do?
So going into the Arizona game against the Wildcats, I thought that UCLA was like a carbon copy of Arizona. You know, you had these teams that had very identical stat profiles, and they had a freshman quarterback that that was like going up, and then they had defense. They had a lot of similarities in stats, but it turns out that Arizona peaking, UCLA not so much because the offense is a crater. It turns out that UCLA and ASU are much more of a clone situation because. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you.
Which sucks.
They're
in 12th place.
They have a new defensive coordinator, along with the rest of the staff, because they have an entirely new staff that is overachieving, has a great culture, and is doing decent things with their defense despite having no offense, no help from the offense. That sound like a match with the Bruins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this year it does.
Checks out.
They have no explosive plays on offense. Does that sound like a correlation with the Bruins?
Double checks out.
That's really been the Sun Devil season. I mean, you think about the peak of their season so far this year. It was a almost win against Washington in Washington State in Husky Stadium when they had that game won, but for a pick six that Trenton Boyer threw, and then the next week they come out and they clobber the Cougars. Didn't the Bruins all also clobber the Cougars?
Yep,
to a degree, right? We thought that was one of the biggest games of our season. Turns out it was not that big a deal because the Cougars suck.
Well, I think we broke them. I can at least say UCLA sort of broke their spirits.
They certainly helped that process, but it just doesn't look like the Cougars are very good this year. And evidence of that is that this very limited Sun Devil team was able to beat them too, right? It's like whatever. So this Sun Devil team has only 2 wins, one of them against the Cougs. But they're a team that has had pretty decent defensive play with a defensive coordinator, Brian Ward, who coached at Washington State last year and had the Washington State defense pretty good. Came to ASU and it has them overachieving. Like their defense is playing pretty well, despite having a lot less talent than the UCLA defense has. So they definitely have limitations, but they are kind of playing over their heads. The problem is for the ASU offense, it's a smoldering wreck. I was looking at a story for ASU today online, and they had 26 different players miss a total of 105 games. 10 players have missed 5 games or more. The offensive line has been hit the hardest. 9 players missed a combined 43 games. They went on their road trip to Utah. Did they get their ass kicked at Utah, right? I believe they did.
Yeah.
They had one of their, I think their starting tackle or their starting guard literally resigned from the team on the road trip. They had to plug in a guy that was playing guard, and I think they was the tackle, and they had to move him to tackle for this game. And then they got beat 55-3 by the Utes. What is a Ute?
What is a Ute?
You think that UCLA has problems on offense? Well, hello, Sparky, because they are UCLA like down, 7 rings of hell into the circle, into Dante's Inferno. So,
Oh, Dante.
Aw,
do you want more? Right?
I do.
How do you like it? So that is, pretty more where we're at with the ASU team. And honestly, like I said, my score prediction will not reflect this. But if the Bruins do not win this game handily, like literally, like we should drive Chip to Burbank Airport and tarmac him just for the sake of tarmacking him. Because
why are we going to the airport? Trust us.
Just because you need a tarmac, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's kind of on the way from the Rose Bowl to UCLA. I mean, just a little bit of a detour. But they are very, very limited. Do you guys have anything to say about Sparky before we move on with this?
No, but I appreciate all the stats and how you really broke down that they are, because I don't know if Bourget is going to play though. That's the thing. They haven't.
Neither
said
do
that.
they.
They don't know. So it's like,
and if they do, they had a guy named Bourget, who we saw last year, got hurt early in the Utah game, and his replacement Conover came in, and he was 5 for 25 for this through most of the game. 5 for 25 for 41 yards, 1.9 yards per attempt with a pick. And this is the thing. It's like Utah's defense is very, very good. We saw them earlier this year. UCLA's defense can play at as well as Utah's defense. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And the fact that ASU has had so many problems with their offensive line, it's really, to me, going to be a situation like Colorado, only they don't have Shedeur Sanders back there at quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have Travis Hunter out there running around, or the other receiver they have, or that really fast running back. And so talk about a get-well game for the Bruin defense, who's feeling pretty rough from their treatment they had in Arizona and kind of being disunified towards the end of the game. They literally should just maul the Sparky offense. And there's no getting around that. They just don't have any bullets left, I don't think. And so anything less than that will be severely disappointing.
well, that's good. And I maybe that's part of the reason you're not going, right? You just don't want to be disappointed.
I always want to go see Bruin football, Bill, unlike you.
I know.
And I love going to see the live games.
Yeah.
However,
check yourself.
I chose to go see my buddy Jamaal, even though Bill didn't want to go on the trip.
Oh.
Me and Mike saddled up, went to Tucson to see Jamaal.
Again, dude.
I know, why are you bringing up bullshit? And I missed going to see my daughter play softball because I went on that road trip.
You're such a dick.
Wow.
So now
Jake.
I'm choosing to stay home because my daughter will be in town.
Uh-huh.
And
Did they win, by the way?
Because Bill invited himself over to see my daughter.
Yes.
He just wants to watch the game. He wants me to cook.
No, I want to see Megan.
Whatever.
You're so bad. You're the one who
What
ditched
was your
her
question, Mike?
softball game.
Wow.
Did she win?
Did she win?
Oh yeah, that's my guess. They won one, they lost one. And it's funny because SC, that school of misogyny, they don't have an NCAA women's softball team.
Wow.
So their club team, I imagine, is probably rather loaded because any girl that goes there, obviously, like they're not going to have NCAA softball players there, but girls that got into SC or whose parents paid for them to go to SC that have any chops in softball
are going to be on that.
The highest level they can play is this club softball team.
Yeah.
So I guess they came out and got outgunned in the first game, but at the second game they battled and they won. So they were 1-1.
That's good
against those Trojan gals.
Oh, good.
But anyways, Mikey, do you have anything to say about Sparky? I hope this podcast is listenable. It feels like it is, but who fucking knows?
We give good back and forth between our arguments. I enjoy it. I like re-listening.
Everybody hates Chip Kelly.
I like listening to our podcast because I like affirming that what I said was right all the time. And yeah, so
I wish Bill was a listener. Mike, what do you have to say?
no, this is definitely a first year coach, trying to right the ship, because there was a lot wrong with ASU. With the the last coach, what's his name?
Hermy Herm.
Hermer. He just didn't do like anything. Just kind of similar to UCLA. It's like, oh, we're getting a new coach. I was like, oh, we're getting a guy that hasn't coached in 17 years. Oh,
They had an 8-win
cool.
season in the last 4 years, but 3 of the other 4 years were literally 3 of the worst. They're in the bottom 10 of seasons all time for for Sparky.
Yeah, and that's again, especially with. They just renamed their stadium, which is cool, I guess. It's like
It's a lovely stadium built into a mountain.
No, it is fantastic. That's the thing. Arizona State, whether it's a party school or not, it's actually a really interesting campus. But as far as the football team, there's just there's no life into it right now. Maybe Dillingham will try to figure something out, get some guys in there. Not high academic standards like UCLA or Stanford, so hopefully that helps them a little bit, but right now it was a mess. So Dillingham has a lot of work to do, but when you're just down to like the bare bones of your roster, that's not going to help out. And
bare minimum.
I think
the bare minimum.
Oh, wow. That's more of a cougar, but especially after what happened last week. I think UCLA comes out and tries to prove something against this team.
A couple more things. I was catching up on the Sun Devil source. By the way, something I'm going to, like a rite of passage, I'll save it for my What's Bruin. But anyways, talking about Sun Devil source, right? Which is the 24/7 show podcast for Sparky. Chris Cartman, who has been there for ages, he was talking about this team, once again, parallels with UCLA. He said that the new coordinator for their defense, Brian Ward, their defense has been playing really, really good, and it's probably the best defense ASU has fielded in 20 years.
Wow.
Sounds pretty familiar to us, right?
they have been pretty good defensively.
They have, but they're just so limited because of the offense. Against Washington, Cartman was complaining about the ugly quarterback play and the wasting of their offensive weapons, right? That's something else that we can kind of parallel Phil with. And then it was actually after they lost to Cal about 5 games ago, and he was complaining about the toughness of the offensive players. So, I mean, it's like they've been going through quite a bit, and that's what happens, I guess, when you have a 2-7 year or whatever. I think that's what they're at right now. But once again, the Bruins should be able to handle this team because they're like a non-starter on offense. They have guys like Elijah Badger who theoretically could pose problems for the Bruins, but there's nobody to give them the ball. They've got a transfer from Sac State named Cam Scatabo, and he ended up having to play Wildcat quarterback at the end of during their game against Utah. But if that's the only offense you have, I mean, UCLA's shown that they can really,
key in on that.
Key in on offenses that are limited like that. So, with that being said, I guess let's get to score predictions. Bill, what do you think?
I think UCLA 28, ASU 10.
Who's going to play quarterback for the Bruins, Bill?
Let's say Dante Moore. Let's just going to go with that.
How do you like it? Mike, what do you think?
I just had to adjust the score because I'm thinking of a field goal. So I'm like, UCLA.
We can't kick field goals.
Kick field.
Bill, what's our percentage on field goals this year?
Let's go 40%.
Wow, you're not off.
50%.
Okay.
I'm going UCLA 24, Arizona State 0.
Oh, a shutout.
Mm-hmm.
At least a shutout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's going to play quarterback for the Bruins?
Moore. I do. I want some wins. I want more wins.
Jake, what about you?
The Bruins are going to win this game. And they're going to win this game by a colossal score, as evidenced by my obvious confidence in the offense. 2-0. Thank you very much.
Ass.
Wow.
You're an ass.
God.
You stupid.
Look at that. Look at that.
I hate your face.
And look at that. Yeah, see? Look at one more drink. One more drink, Jake.
My cup is empty.
Yeah.
I need some more.
Do you want more?
Yes, Jake.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, Jamaal hasn't.
Somebody
gotten
give me a
back to
whiskey.
us. Jamaal hasn't gotten back to us, but I'm sure he would have something along the lines of maybe UCLA 27-7.
I think so.
That's my prediction.
You know what's going to piss me off, by the way? And by the way, I think that I want more to start the game as well, because why not? You know, we might as well build for the future. And Garber's, we thought he was going to be able to, like, he can dink and dunk his way to a victory in this game. You know, I think. You know, and by the way, but I mean, we might as well.
I think they'll do something similar to Stanford.
And I don't want Garber's to hurt himself anymore. More.
No.
But honestly, guys, I'm thinking, like, if we just would have just rolled out there with Schlee and done a full-on, like, Navy offense. They got, what's his name? Lolo out there. You know, they just go full-on triple option. I know this is not an original idea, but if we would have done that just from the start for this year in particular, we'd probably have an undefeated team right now, if you think all things considered. Because they would have been taking advantage of the deep. Well, I can't say that because their special team sucks so bad they can't convert field goals. But, I mean, that would have been the most successful version of this team, I think, this year. Complete ball control offense. You let your defense make stops. You punt the ball. Punting is winning. That style, we could have really got behind that this year. But, alas,
it didn't happen.
So, yeah, missed opportunities. All right, Mike, you got anything else?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Well, we're going to get on to listener feedback, which Bill and Mike will not participate in, and Jake will do right now in this segment. And then we're going to come back with Bill's favorite part of the show.
That's right.
Which means he gets to leave, which
That's
is
right.
his favorite part of the show.
It is.
So, be right back. All right, so here are the calls for the show. Once again, you can call us at 805-399-4WPS, second reign of Troy. And we got a bunch of calls today, so let's get right to them. First up is Leo, our good buddy, who went on the road trip to Tucson along with us.
Hey guys, this is Leo from Long Beach. It was great running to you, Jake, in Tucson. Not the outcome we wanted. And for that, I think I'm jumping on the Let's Fire Chip Kelly bandwagon. And actually the reason I think he will be let go is our AD, Jarman. I think he's probably one of the top 3 candidates for the Ohio State opening. So based on what he decides to do at UCLA, we'll definitely set him up for a possible interview this spring. I know Ohio State's going to want the best AD for their program. And in regards to the podcast you guys did out in Tucson as you were on the freeway and before the game, it was pretty cool. It was different, but I enjoyed it. Sorry you forgot your cords and weren't able to connect. But it was cool to kind of get perspective before the game. And then your thoughts throughout Saturday evening into Sunday morning. And additionally, for any Bruin fans who have ever hesitated to travel and follow the team, yes, it was a loss, but it's really neat to go to another city. For myself and Manny and the group of us that went, it was maybe like 10 of us that went out to the game. Some live in the Phoenix area. Some of us flew from LA, Long Beach, out to Phoenix, and then made the drive down to Tucson. It's cool to run into other Bruins, have conversations as far as if they're alumni or they're fans and or who they're supporting. So, yes, it's hard to be a Bruin, but love my school and go Bruins. Have a great show, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Leo, it was great to see you out there, number one. I'm sorry we didn't make your tailgate, but like I said, me and Jamaal were quite cozy at the Cheap Hut at the time before the game started going. But it was good to see you in the stadium. And it's crazy because I think this is going to be a theme throughout these calls. But Leo's on the get rid of Chip bandwagon. Dez, in a minute, I think is going to give us a similar thought to that. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I agree with you, Leo. It's always fun to go on a road trip. And I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a podcast, so I get to talk about the game and kind of and get it all out of me, so I don't like carry around the baggage of it. But going on road trips is a lot more fun now than it used to be when everything was kind of over whether the team won and lost. And I'm just tell you, like, I had a great time in Tucson, but for the game. And I don't know if I could have said that about the other times I've been to Tucson. So there is that, and now we can look forward to next year going to some of these Big Ten locations possibly. I don't know if I'll be able to go to as many games as I have this year, but I'll certainly get one or two of them knocked out. And, of course, I am going to New Orleans for the LSU game, and take a drive up to Baton Rouge. So thanks for calling, Leo. We love you, and let's get on to Dez.
Hey guys, Dev again. So I got my frustration out. I still had a little bit this morning. Listened to the show. You know, great show as always. But I think I am finally also on the bandwagon of getting rid of Chip. I think it won't happen until next year. But the question then becomes, who do we get? Who do we replace Chip with? Because there is a hurdle of having to deal with academics with the school. I mean, is there another Jim Harbaugh out there? I'm probably sure there is. I mean, some of those schools do end up making it, you know, making big gains after a while. Jim turned that Stanford team around really quick and had a good run. Handed off to David Shaw, continued to have a good run until towards the very end. And Terry Donahue, you know, he did a great job. Jim Morgan did a great job. So the question becomes, who can we get, in all honesty, that can turn this team around, recruit, and make things, you know, fantastic for the fan base. Anyway, much love to you guys, and go Bruins.
Thanks, guys, for calling once again. And it's funny, before the show started, we didn't really get to it because obviously this has turned into like a 2-hour-long show. But Bill and Mike came in hot, like, about who the hiring prospect would be if they actually did get rid of Chip, which I'm kind of dubious. I still feel like the position the school is in right now is he's going to have a chance to win his job back, basically, and we'll be at least 1 year into the Big Ten before there's any action taken. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Bill came in saying he wants Jed the Fish, which is funny because I thought that would be Mike's answer. But then Mike came in saying he wants Jonathan Smith from Oregon State. So two of the coaches that have vanquished Chip Kelly this year is who Bill and Mike want. And the argument for taking them is that Jonathan Smith is going to be languishing in a non-conference of the Pac-2 next year, and so why wouldn't he want to elevate himself to the UCLA job in the Big Ten, right? Because now that is something, a feather that UCLA has in their cap. They are competing in one of the two top-tier conferences in the college football landscape. So, I mean, we got that going for us, at least, right? We met the Dalai Lama, and we're in the Big Ten. On the flip side, same argument can be made, sort of, for Jed the Fish. He's going to the Big 12. Everybody knows the Big 12 is just Big 12 bad, right? Even with them adding Utah and Colorado and Arizona State, they're still inferior to what the Big 10 and what the SEC has to offer. So, Jed the Fish, stepping up to the big time, come back to UCLA, even though, you already have been here, you know what it's all about. So maybe you will turn your back on the Wildcats and come to us. For me, I don't know. I kind of feel like if they do end up getting rid of Chip, which I still think, all things considered, given the context, unless they fire him right now before the ASU game, they're not going to fire him because he's probably going to win the next few games. We'll see. But I think there are plenty of guys out there that would have been the next Jed the Fish or the next Jonathan Smith. And but the one thing we do know about UCLA is the last hire they made was a really good hire on paper. So I'm just hoping that they have the same sort of ambition and go out and make a really good hire the next time they're in the market to hire a football coach, whenever that may be. That's all I'm hoping for because, that's all we can really hope for. It's out of our control, people. So let's see how it goes. All right, thanks for the call, Des. And who's up next?
Hey, guys, this is Nick from Clearwater calling to start off the Monday. Just still in a funk and frustrated over Saturday's game. Hopefully basketball goes well tonight. But wanted to talk a little bit about just the future of this program. And I know we're kind of trying to focus on one game at a time because, honestly, the future looks kind of bleak. But when you're talking about money related to this program, I just don't see how it makes sense to keep Kelly. And the reason being is I don't think I've ever seen UCLA games so depleted at the Rose Bowl. I mean, we've never had to put up tarps before. Back when I lived in California and grew up in Pasadena, would go to games a lot. I mean, we'd average 60, 70,000, 50,000. Now to just struggle to get 40, it's just crazy to me. And so when you see that and then see some of the teams that we're bringing in the non-conference, like Coastal Carolina and those folks that aren't bringing in anybody, I mean, I guess the Big Ten Conference is what's going to bring in a lot of the money. But if nothing else does, what's the point in keeping someone who brings no excitement to this program? I just don't think anyone's excited. More people were excited for the head coach of Colorado than they were for UCLA earlier this year. So I'm just kind of wondering, when is enough enough? Do we have to have a worse record this year than the previous year in order for people to say, maybe we should go in a different direction? I don't know. It's still frustrating. Hopefully things turn around for the better soon, but I guess only time will tell. Thanks, guys, and go Bruins.
Nick, I think you hit it right on the head, and that is, it's kind of what we said earlier in the show, and that the apathy is set so far into this program. Even when we were in what we thought was the low point of the program in the aughts of this millennium, right? There was still a ton of people at the Rose Bowl. And if UCLA started 6-0, like that place had 60, 70,000 people there, right? It blew up. And it just doesn't feel like that's what would happen under this regime because so many people have just kind of checked out. And that's the problem here because you are going to have a hard time, I think, getting rid of a coach that has 9 or 10 wins in the bag. And that seems imminently reachable this year if Kelly is allowed to continue. And so I think that's probably what's going to happen. But you're right. I mean, then we're going to spend the whole offseason going, with a very vocal group of fans saying, you should have fired him, you should have fired him. And no matter what comes out, like Chip gets a recruit, oh, you should have fired him. It's not going to make any difference. And you come back next year and they win the first game, oh, you should have fired him, you should have fired him. And it's going to be that all offseason long, and it's going to be so fatiguing, and we're just going to be sick of it. And that's why I think the best argument for getting rid of him is just the buzz of the program has just been completely depleted. Certainly, they get a little bit of national love when Kelly gets a little steam under him, but locally, it's just not there. And you can see that with how many people are tuning up to the Rose Bowl, right? And it's a shame. So, I think we all know it should happen. Will it happen? Yeah. And so, I guess we're going to be sitting with the status quo through a Big Ten season. And the point I was trying to make to Bill and Mike was everybody's just assuming that they're going to be so bad in that opening Big Ten season. I don't think they will be that bad. I think they'll have a chance to be just kind of mediocre goodish again, which is what Chip's been in the last couple of years. And with that in mind, then you have a whole nother batch of reasons why you don't get rid of him. And so it's one of those things where it's like, if you know right now he's not going to win any big games, just cut the cord because there are going to be plenty of opportunities for him to survive in a Rasputin-like way, right? And it really is a Clay Helton situation, On the same level, right, SC's used to a higher standard as far as the number of football wins or the conference titles or whatever, but Helton was doing that to a degree, so you always had the argument of, oh, look what he did. Well, he went to the Rose Bowl, and he did this, and he did that. But it was so obvious just looking at how the program was operating that it wasn't working. And so it took much longer than it needed to make a change. And I think that's where we all are as a group. We're at we have the fatigue, and we realize that it's never going to come around. Maybe that's kind of what we're feeling. But there's always reasons to justify not making the change. And I think we're in the big danger zone of that. All right. Some more sunshine. I think we get to hear from Diego, the ambassador of all things positive.
Hey guys, it's Diego. A couple of parting thoughts on this season. Basically, the regular season is over. And as Terry Donahue used to always say, the grace of being UCLA's coach is you have 2 seasons. The regular season and the SC game. If Chip beats SC, there won't be any fire Chip thoughts coming from anyone. They'll be testing about this game, as rightfully they should be, but a lot of that will simmer down. So I think we got to keep our powder dry for now, keep our heads on straight, and not get too carried away. But the game in Arizona was a complete loss on all facets, offense, defense, special teams. But every era of UCLA football has had these games. I always remember the game that UCLA went back to play Oklahoma, in Oklahoma, with a guy named Bosworth as their middle linebacker, and they crushed us 38-3. But you know what? That team went on to play in the Rose Bowl later that year. Bosworth called our jerseys Robin egg nest blue or something like that, robin egg blue or something. So it was pretty humiliating all the way around. But we bounced back. So the question now isn't so what happened in Arizona, but can the team bounce back? I don't know. I think there's signs, telltale signs that Chip may have lost the team here. Who knows what's going on? But they've got 3 more games. And I think Chip's the kind of coach that if they don't rally, if he doesn't get the right effort, he'll take the starters out and put the backups in. So that's what Wooden would have done. So really we got Arizona State and then Cal. Those are exhibition games. The real game is against SC. We'll see what their new DC can do on the defensive side for them. But I like our chances. He coupled offense and our on-again, off-again defense. So hang in there. Stay with Chip. Let's see what the future brings. We've always had clunkers like this in our past. We probably always will in the future. Get over it. Finish the season strong and go on to the next one. This is Diego. Go Bruins.
Well, I will say that is a resigned, but definitely positive call from old Diego. Yeah, we're all sad that they got their butts kicked in Tucson. But it's kind of what I said a minute ago. They're probably going to have success for the rest of the season just based on what's on the schedule. And I feel like they have a very good chance to beat the Trojans at the Mausoleum. And with that being said, we're probably going to be dealing with another season of Kelly, whether you like it or not. So you might as well just strap in and hope for the best. But, Diego, I couldn't have said it about myself, so I'm not going to reiterate what you said. Although I am surprised by what you said, to a degree, because I thought it was going to be fire and brimstone. But, like I said, resigned is resigned. And you sound resigned. God bless you. Bosworth was before my time, but, I remember plenty of games in that same vein where, the Bruins will go and get the butts kicked, and then people will talk about, their whatever the uniform color scheme suggests, and then they'll go out and in another game kick the living shit out of somebody. So, hope springs eternal, I suppose, still here on the What's Bruin show. And thank you very much for that call, Diego.
Hey guys, this is Carrie. Thanks so much for your show. I am less sad. I can say I'm less sad because I listen to your show. And honestly, it's in part because of your story about Mike's Hotel. And I think it's because I just really wanted to hear something bad about Arizona. So, yeah, well done. Thank you for the effort you put into that. So, my thoughts, I'm just struggling to argue that Chip is the best coach to lead the Bruins into the Big Ten. I get the feeling the pattern is going to be, and I think you guys mentioned this, or Jake, you mentioned this, the pattern is going to be like maybe every 3 to 5 years there will be a double-digit win team at best. And I'm just thinking, watching the progression of DTR and his teams. I also just sense a disconnect between the talent and skill level of the offense and the play calling. I see, the O-line and the quarterbacks need basic development, training and just getting the basics down, like building a skill set for defending the pass rush, right? But their time is being spent on, learning other things like, these cute plays that in a perfect world they could implement with maybe more veteran players, but maybe not appropriate to this line, this O-line. And the receivers are excellent, and they need more high precision throws, for over 20 yards. And I'm not sure if these skill sets that we do have are being tapped. So maybe Chip is just biting off more than he can chew with his play calling. So my question for you is, in this magical world I may be living in, if there was a replacement for Chip, who would be the best person, thinking about going into the Big Ten? I'm thinking maybe an internal promotion. Gosh, I'd love to have Judd Fish. I'm not sure if that is, that's even in the realm of possibility. But, I don't know, Danson Lynn. I'm not that familiar with all the coaches, but maybe someone internally might be a good person who's already on, in the mix right now in terms of getting over to the Big Ten. One last thing, I am going to try to get on the Slack channel. I have not been able to the past couple of games, Nancy, but I will be there with you. Hopefully, if this Arizona State game is televised, I will be watching it. And yeah, thanks for that Slack channel. It was nice seeing everyone on there. And go Bruins.
Carrie, thanks so much for the call. Really appreciate it. And, of course, Nancy wants to see you on that Slack channel sooner rather than later, so she doesn't feel so lonely as the only lady voice on there. But, you're always welcome, of course, and thank you so much for the calls. So getting the second question first, I said it earlier, I think, when Leo or Nick was talking, but Bill came in here hot and heavy for Jed the Fish, just like you, and I honestly don't see what would be wrong with that, because it seems like he has really come in and got off and running with Arizona in his first job as a head coach, and I think the Bruins could do much worse than him, especially considering that he's so familiar with working in Westwood after being here for a season or so. But beyond that, I'll just reiterate, I think there's plenty of guys they could get that could do a crackerjack job at UCLA, given the natural advantages that the school has and really has never really taken advantage of. And when you think that we have a first-class athletic director in Martin Jamaal, at least for the time being, you might as well take advantage of that too. It seems like they have a real good, even though it's been 6 years since they've hired a football coach, the last time they hired a coach, they had a good process, and it seems like their processes have only gotten better since then, right? So I think there's any number of coaches they could hire that would be good. And it's probably not, they're not all people that we would think of off the top of our head, right? Getting to your first point, and that is how they're choosing to call plays and employ the offense and take advantage of the talent that they have. I think this really is a case of, and I hate second guessing coaching, considering that none of us are at practice. They don't let their words into practice, so they don't know any better either. They're just looking at them run around in their underwear for a few minutes, and they're done. But Kelly is a veteran coach. He's coached a lot of football teams, and he is a really good football coach. You know, it just so happens he's struggling at UCLA for our standards, but he's a pretty darn good coach, you know, admittedly. And he knows a thing or two about coaching an offense. Absolutely. So I hate second-guessing that. However, given the way that this season is run out, and given the strengths that are apparent from this team, I think you're absolutely right, Kerry. They should just be running the G-damn ball, and if you start from that perspective, and you're running, and you're running, and you're running, and you're proficient at it, then that gives you opportunities to throw the ball deep to some of these superstar athletes that you have. And by the way, you're already not taking advantage of these athletes right now. You're not throwing to Sturdivant, you're not throwing to Kyle Ford, and you are throwing to some of these other dudes. And Logan Loy is great, but as far as we know, he's not J. Michael Sturdivant. The opportunities for these guys have been few and far between in the conference season, and I just think that they would have a hell of a lot more opportunities if you were taking advantage of what your offensive line does pretty good, which is run block, taking advantage of the battering ram you have in Carson Steele, the explosiveness of T.J. Harden, and the even more explosiveness of Mr. Jones. And you really establish yourself on the ground, running the ball, and then you can get the ball down the field based off of that. And I just don't think that what Kelly's been trying to do the last couple of weeks has been fitting into what these guys can do best. But, once again, we're not at practice. We're not the engineers of some of the best offenses in UCLA history. So, you know, we are just kind of giving our opinions at this point, but, you know, whatever. We're not out there calling the plays. Thank you so much for calling, Kerry, and thanks for all the callers. And, of course, you can always get a hold of us at 805-399-4WBS, Second Reign of Troy. I will be on the Reign of Troy YouTube channel next Wednesday at 5 p.m. if you want to tune into that. And thanks, everybody. Let's get on with the rest of the show.
All right, Bill. What time is it? What time is it, Bill? Please tell me. Try to speak with your mouth, not with your other parts of your body.
What's ruined you?
What's brewing with you?
Ask me.
What's brewing with me? Yeah. What's brewing with you? What's brewing with me? What's brewing with you?
I'm glad it's a well ventilated garage. Very well. Bill, what's brewing with you?
Windy outside. So, a friend of mine from work. God, he's in his late 50s now.
Who's this?
A friend from work.
Let's call him Jonas.
Let's call him Jonas.
And you play basketball the way?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I know which friend we're talking about.
His name is
So,
Jonas.
so he said, "You know what, Bill, you're so effing gray." I said, "I know, man. I'm 45. What the hell are you talking about?"
He said you're gray?
Yeah. He's like, "Man, you're just so freaking gray. You da-da-da-da-da." And I'm like, "All right, whatever." You know, he's been saying it for some time. He's like, "Dude, just try it. Try this new thing I have. It's called Simpler. It's better than it." I'm like, "Just for men?" "Yeah, it's so good. It's so great." I'm like, "All right, fine, dude. I will try it." I order it, $45. I order it, and the thing is, it's really easy. It's organic and blah 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 blah.
Guys, some of this gave you hives.
No, it didn't, guys. I did it, and first off, my wife and kids were like, "What the hell? What are you doing, Dad?" But I did it. I dyed my hair and my beard, and there's a little gray coming because my hair grows fast. But yeah, it's Suzanne says I look at least a year younger.
A year.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I did it, guys. I've dyed my hair for the very first time at age 45. I'm not going to throw away the bottle. I'm going to use the bottle up, and I'm never going to do it again. I shouldn't say never, but I'm not going to do it again anytime soon. And just love my grays like I usually do. But yeah, I actually did it. Jake doesn't have to worry about this. He actually, he shaves his head, so doesn't worry about this. Mike has a luscious, full mane. So Jake, why are you showing your chest?
Yeah, that's where the gray comes in.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I have my grays.
Yeah, but no. I have way more
But you're
grays.
saying 45?
Yeah.
$45 for this?
Yeah, $45. Yeah,
$10 herbal essence.
there you go. There you go.
Just saying.
There it goes. So it's just, but it's less.
I'm
messy.
older than you both and I have less gray hair than either.
Yeah, that's right. It is true.
You don't have gray hair at all. You shave.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. But either way, that's what I did.
We don't have to go deep into the undergarment.
That's awesome. Jake! Oh, he really is Cartman right now, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
You
Mike.
dead and get him.
Mike, what's brewing with you?
Quick recap. Go to Tucson.
Yeah.
Have a fun night with Jake and Jamaal on Friday.
That was
Go to my hotel.
Big applause, Big Mike.
And I get there, and I don't go into an office to check in. There's a window with a metal grate. Some dude is trying to get a room. Takes about 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, move.
Rickety crickets back there.
Right before I get there, this lady who's about 60 years old, who has pink hair and it's shaved in the back, goes, "Can I get a soda?" I'm like, "Don't touch me," but yeah, go get your soda. All the while, there's a couple behind me who look like they want to check in as well. The girl is collecting rocks on the pathway, and the guy has metal nunchucks around his neck. So I get up there. They can't find my reservation. They're looking, and all of a sudden, the couple I notice is 10 feet to my right, sitting against the wall, and I hear click, like that of a lighter. Mm-hmm. Pretty damn sure they were smoking the crack rock. Luckily, they couldn't find my reservation, which in a way I was kind of glad. I called Jake, and he's like, "What the hell? What
Literally pulling into the driveway of the hotel."
So he's like, "I'll pick you up." My phone dies, so I'm on the side of the street. On the sidewalk, waiting for Jake.
I pull up and I see a crackhead with a laptop in his hands. Oh, it turns out it's Mike.
I had to plug in my phone to my computer, which still had power, and I'm like, this was just horrible. But thank you to Jake.
Holy crap!
I was able to stay with Jake. Thank you so much for that. That was fantastic. But we were talking about how your daughter just did a club team. I wanted to add this second really quickly thing. So my very good friend Kelly came into town the weekend before. We went to this place called the Britannia, which is an Eagles bar.
Go Birds.
Which was awesome. So we met these people, this family that was there watching the Eagles game. Her daughter, the daughter went to USC. The parents were coming in from Hawaii, had an 11-hour layover. So they're like, "Oh, let's go watch the Eagles game with our daughter," and then they're going to fly to Philadelphia. Well, yeah, we find out she's on the USC lacrosse team, and she's just a sassy little one. We're like, "Okay, you're cool, you're cool." She says, and this was the night that who did they play last? Who did USC play last week? Not Washington. Was it Notre Dame?
No,
No, Cal. The night of the Cal,
Yeah.
because that's who they played, the Cal. So they come home, and that night the lacrosse team came home too. She said she was at a party, and she saw Caleb Williams there, and she this is what she told us. She goes, "Why are you here? You should not be here. You should be embarrassed to be here." We were dying. It was like, oh my God.
You should be embarrassed to be here because it's a
You were the best
lacrosse
USC Trojan ever. Like, she was just like, that was embarrassing. What are you doing here? I was like, whoa. Okay.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that was all right. So that's been going on with me the last 2 weeks. Jake, what's wrong with you?
It is, we're going from from the Pac-12, rest in peace, to the Big 12, and
Big Ten.
I did what Mike did.
Yeah, you did.
We're going to the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, and as such, I'm actually, with each one of these Pac-12 games that goes by, I am going through a rite of passage which is disconnecting from the fandom of that particular Pac-12 school. So, for example, last week, I'm done with Wildcat Radio. Unfollow on. They did, and they did not have me for their interview. I'm still deeply offended. But the week before that, DNVR, gone. No longer am I going to be annoyed by how obnoxious those guys are on DNVR. This week, God bless Chris Cartman, but Sun Devil Source, off of my podcast feed.
Wow,
right?
You're having a fire sale.
Yeah, and then as soon as the season ends, I'm going to have to add on like the Iowa Hawkeye show or whatever. But
I see where you're going.
But it is. I just realized that in the last couple of weeks. I'm like, man, we're really disconnecting from the Pac-12 as it is blowing apart, and it is bittersweet.
Sorry, Jake,
but there it goes.
There it goes. Well, thank you, Jake.
I mean, you definitely are an ultimate podcaster. Sure, I might have brought it to
like Ultimate Frisbee.
Brought it to the table, but Jake, can we agree that Jake has run with this?
Yeah, he ran.
He ran so far away.
I'm running towards it. Bill's running away.
He couldn't get away.
I never ran. I just sat and just watched it go by.
I'll talk.
I guess whatever. Guys, thank you guys. Awesome show. I was glad to be back for this one. I'm glad you guys had a good time. Jake, eat it for going and losing one last time. What a great way. I knew that was going to happen.
Hey, why don't you adjust your seat, dickhead?
It's all good, man.
I
don't have to worry about that any other time.
Never again.
Did they have any
Never
chip
again.
witches there? I didn't even know. Check. I didn't.
No, they don't have
Nothing.
chip. They had them up north. Not there. So thank you guys. Thanks to everyone listening, all 5 of you. Remember to donate to, what is it? Not Spotify. I just blanked on it. Substack for $10.
$5.
Or $5. Or Patreon. Patreon for $2. There you go. Thank you guys. And as always, fire Chip Kelly. Go Bruins.
Good evening.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
That was the What's Bruin show.
Try us tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's gotta be in or out, Mom. In or out. Well, I need the door closed.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Dude, brah, we play some ball on the West Coast.
The final word is boob.